So the Nigerian president has issued a ban on travel from government officials. They will not travel for about 3 months. They won't go anywhere in order for them to investigate and find out where the money comes from. So why? Because the government has been spending a lot of money on trips and travels, on expenditure that are not necessarily justified by government officials. So the president said, you know what? We need to make a stop on this. These are crazy stuff that happen in Africa. Crazy stuff. We're going to find out just now.
The numbers that the president has now approved for official travel with him that will apply to his principal staff are as follows. On international trips, the president has directed that no more than 20 individuals be allowed to travel with him.
So President Bola Tinubu of Nigeria said from 1st of April, there will be a 3-month ban on ministers and other government officials from publicly funded overseas travel. Nigerians love traveling abroad, like many African countries, but Nigerians are specifically, they love traveling abroad, and government officials also love traveling abroad. I mean, you would think a person who works for government, you want to be in politics so you can better the country, right? So you can invest of your time, your intelligence, your capabilities to build a road, to build infrastructure, to make sure the country is beautiful. But these people are urging, they just want to travel. They want to go to another country. They just want to go to another place. So the ban says this is aiming to curb government spendings on foreign trips. The decision comes as a response to President Tinubu concern regarding the escalating cost associated with such trips by public officials. They've been spending a lot of money on trips. His chief of staff highlighted the necessity of this move against the backdrop of mounting travel expenses incurred by the government. Now, the issue with this is what? In many African countries, when the government travel or they say they want to send somebody to China to go and negotiate something for the country. Let's give a stupid example. Let's say they want to send a government official to China to see a possibility of mining back home in the country. What they're going to do is they won't just send a government official going to China. They're going to send a government, bring money together for the government official to go to China. But the government official will also make sure he takes along his cousin, his nephew, his sister's boyfriend, and his third wife on this trip. Of course, it's tourism, free of charge, paid by government. And also they're going to be, money allocated for every day. What do you call it? I forgot how you call it. Money that you pay people every day for per diem. Yeah, they do that. Obviously, when government allocates funds for such trip, let's say they put together $100,000 for the trip, and you happen to spend only $20,000 on this trip. Normally, the remainder of the money should be allocated back to government. So government obviously can register and continue, doing the work for the for the people. But this is not what happened. If the money allocated was $100,000, they go to spend more than, even if they only needed $20,000, they will spend more or claim they spent more than $120,000. So even government, on top of $80,000 they have had, government will have to pay them on top of that money. Crazy stuff. So Nigerian president says, enough. We need to go through. Congratulations to this man, Mr. Tinubu. He's not very much liked by many people in the world, many freedom fighters, because Mr. Tinubu is the president that brought other presidents together in ECOWAS meetings, asking them to attack Niger. Do you remember? Niger is this beautiful country in Africa. Oh yeah. Otherwise, there's Niger and Nigeria. Here's the map. Niger and Nigeria. These are two different countries, bordering countries. Very similar people in the borders, but they were separated after colonialism. Niger and Nigeria. Niger was colonized by French people and Nigeria by British. But the people around that area were the same people, unfortunately. Now, when Niger decided to topple the president, Mohamed Bazoum, do you remember? And they said, we're going to take our own directions. We're going to lead our own country. Tinubu was part of the president of ECOWAS that were pushing to go and topple the new government in Niger. They got the armies ready. They funded them. They were ready. They were hot. And many people did not like him very much because of that, because they felt like he was indeed pushing Africa backward, instead of letting these people free themselves. He was part of the people that were actually working for Western interest in Africa. Now, seeing him make this move is very interesting because criticism has been directed to the president, Tinubu, and his administration for the frequent international visits. Particularly contentious was the sponsorship of 400 individuals to attend COP28. So they sponsored 400 400 individuals to go to this. Imagine 400 individuals. The climate conference in Dubai in last November, drawing a particular uproar in social media platform. I mean, France sent a delegation of 15 people. Belgium sent a delegation of 10 people. Nigeria sent the number of people plus 400 extra people that were absolutely doing nothing. Probably cousins, sisters-in-laws, just to go to Dubai. Obviously, go walk in Dubai, see the market. You have absolutely nothing to do with this meeting, but just go to Dubai. So upon the upcoming ban from Tinubu, government officials will only be permitted to travel abroad if deemed necessary. If it's essential, then you can go. If it's not essential, you're not going. Subject to President Tinubu's approval. He has to sign for it. The objective is to ensure that government prioritizes the core responsibilities for effective service delivery. Yes, fellas, I think this is a very good direction. Tinubu is taking Nigeria. I think, like many other African countries as well, once you get one African in power, unfortunately, he thinks he can save his family, forgetting that power and government is not a family business. It's an opportunity for you to move people forward. It's an opportunity for you to show your love to your country. It is not an opportunity for you to enrich your family and give them opportunities to travel to Dubai, to Hong Kong and China, to the detriment of the people that could have benefited from that fund into health system, into fighting poverty, into building road for the poor. No, it's not an opportunity or blessing from God. Having a job in government should not be celebrated. Many people, many families in Africa, once their family member get a job as a government official in a good position, they have a party, massive party at home. They invite people. Somebody become minister or sub-minister, whatever you call them, deputy minister. They have a massive party at home. Why? That shows you what are the intentions. Why do you have a party as a government official? Why do you have a party again? What are you celebrating? Your job is to get a salary and provide for the people. That's your job. Your job is not to celebrate. It's like you won the lotto. Yeah, but people celebrate like they won the lotto. And unfortunately, in some countries, they're not even accountable to the bad things they do. You would think normal people will try to bring these thieves into accountability. Like when you got into power, into government, you were nobody. You had no money. How come you've built 3 buildings, 5, 6, 7 stories building within a time frame of 2 years? How come in 2 years' time you've built 2 5-story building, but you had nothing before you became into power? They don't even have the decency or the strength to ask them those questions. What some of them do, because they pray a lot, they say it's a blessing from God. Oh, God blessed them. So God, I didn't know God could now bless people into stealing, becoming rich very fast. It's a blessing from God. And why don't they do it? Some experts believe the reason why some of the people don't call the people into accountability is because they hope that one day it's going to be their turn also to steal. They don't call them into accountability. They don't beat them up psychologically, at least, because they expect also one day to see themselves in that position of stealing. That's a cycle. Now, this reminds me of a very interesting president that we respect very, very much. John Pombe Magufuli of Tanzania, one of the greatest presidents Africa's ever had, in my view, and that of many people, many experts. This is a president that came into power and never traveled abroad, going to Europe or America looking for help. Tinubu apparently has spent about $2 million already, 3 billion naira in his personal trips. He has embarked in more than 15 foreign trips. That's the president of Nigeria. Reports indicate he has traveled quite a bit, from domestic to foreign travel. So the expenditure has surpassed the budget allocated for that. John Pombe Magufuli only traveled in African countries. He never went to Europe, never went to Japan, never went to America. John Pombe Magufuli's trips were basically for Africans trying to build the country. John Pombe Magufuli of Tanzania did not ask money from World Bank or IMF as a financing endeavor in order to build this country. Most African countries go to World Bank begging for money so that they can build the countries. Why? Because apparently they don't have money. So they need money from these institutions so they can build the countries. And the danger is once they get money from these institutions, they have to pay interest. And the interest, it's purposely made to be massive so they cannot pay back. And what happens when you don't pay back? When you don't pay back, they come into your country, they take your minerals, they seize a port, they take something in the airport or something. Magufuli refused to do that. He built his country with the money that was circulating in the country. That's the people's country, the people's money. Magufuli rebuilt the country with taxpayers' money. He used that money to rebuild power stations. Magufuli used the money of the country. Let me just put it this way for you. In Africa, many African countries became independent in the 1960s. When they get to this anniversary of the date of the independence, they have massive parties in most African African nation. Magufuli said there's no use for us to spend tens of millions of dollars into a party celebrating freedom that we never really had. Look at the country. While people are suffering, some are dying of malaria, some are dying of stupid disease. He took the money and built a hospital instead of having a party for the independence. He took the money, built the road from one city to the other. That was Pombe Magufuli. But obviously, many Africans did not like him because, we must say it, many Africans want to steal. They want their pockets to be bigger. They only think about their own interest and not the interest of everybody else. And that is one big issue with Africa. Thomas Sankara, heard of Thomas Sankara? Great guy. Same thing in the past. Magufuli, let me finish with Magufuli. Magufuli was finished. Yeah, people say he was finished. That's the truth. Because he refused to adopt the Western mentality. During that time of COVID, he refused to lock his country down. When everybody was locking down and being forced to take injection, he refused to do that. They didn't like him very much. Okay, Thomas Sankara before him did the same. Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso. He refused to send people on trips for free. No trips for free. If you want to go on a trip, only president must sign for it. No more trips with first class or business class. Everybody travels on economy. No more, I want to be a business, Many Africans want to work in politics because of the funding. There's enough money. They can become rich. Many Africans, unfortunately, do not work as a politician for the people. They want to be like actors, like cinema actors, like musicians. That's the kind of lifestyle they want to lead. And that's very sad. Now, congratulations to President of Nigeria, Tinubu, for this idea. Now, the question being asked right now is, however, while he's tightening the regulation on official travel, President Tinubu has not indicated whether he will scale back his trips. His administration previously defended his international engagement as crucial for addressing economic challenges and advancing national interest. So they tell him as well, dude, you also maybe need to stop because you travel quite a bit too. Okay, maybe telling other people not to travel is not enough. Maybe you should lead by example. How about that? Still, Magufuli has done 15 foreign countries trips. There are some presidents here in Africa that have done over 100 trips already. I'm telling you, 100 trips. Nobody has asked him questions. And this incurs millions of dollars every time they travel. Meanwhile, people are suffering. Students don't go to school properly. Teachers don't get paid. Nurses have no salaries. And it's very, very sad. Meanwhile, their family members are getting richer, building villas. They're traveling with private jets and stuff like that. And not even hiding it because they know you're not going to do anything about it. You do not have the guts to ask them questions on why they're spending money that do not belong to them. Let me know how you feel about this, fellas. It's always a great pleasure. What can Africa do to curb this problem of people going to governments looking to enrich themselves? Should government perhaps drop the salaries of these people? I mean, because I feel like teachers should get high salaries. Okay, nurses should get high salaries. Government people should not be getting high salaries. Military should be getting high salaries because they do a tremendous, amazing job. Because I feel like if government people did not get as much money as they get today, the people that will be interested in politics will be the people that genuinely want people to be good. Same for teachers. Teachers go to school to teach children, not necessarily because they need a salary. They go there because I can bet you the majority of teachers, whether you told them you're going to get a salary or not, they're still going to go to school to teach these children because that's their calling. And government, I believe in Africa, needs people who have a calling of uniting, a calling of building, a calling of investing into the nation, not some wannabe musicians and actors. God bless.